Hello universe, welcome to episode 51 of the Cardio Vlogs. No, I'm not going to keep counting them. I just thought it was fun to say them. So what's going on? How's your day going? I must admit that I went and ran some errands today. I really didn't know what to get on here and talk about. I watched the new Shaytards vid just a little while ago, and then I got into this counting thing where I went back through and counted my videos time-wise to see about how many hours of content I have created. And honestly, I thought I had created more than I turned out to have created. Of the stuff that I posted for a public sense, I've only recorded about 35 hours, which may seem like a lot of stuff, but for some reason I thought it was going to be more. But I recorded about 35 hours over the course of 168 videos. Some have a lot of views, a lot of them have a few reviews, and there's probably a handful or so that have no views. I'm not really worried as much about that. I just thought it was interesting that I had created that much content. And I look back at the videos since I've been doing more working out, especially one of my early videos in, I want to say it was in the October time range, which is about, what, 10 months ago now? Almost 10 months ago now? Yeah, 10 months ago. And I could see a difference in my face. Well, I'm sure because of my weight I still have a little bit of a sag on my chin, which really annoys me, by the way. I have noticed that it's definitely less than it was. I mean, it was a really prominent double chin before, and it's definitely changed for the better, for the better as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I like seeing the progress that has occurred. I've seen some videos that I posted where I said hello to someone I was dating at one point, just as sort of a nice "how you doing" video. Yeah, brings back memories. I really don't know a lot to talk about today. I have been reading pretty intently the Game of Thrones books and got through book 3, which is what most of books season 3 of Game of Thrones is pretty much based on book 3 for the most part, from what I understand. I haven't watched the series version of it, but I have gotten through book 3, and I know about one of the major events that occurs in it. I won't mention it because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who has not started watching Game of Thrones yet. But I definitely encourage you to watch it. But to follow up on that big event that happens near the end of season 3, it gets way more crazy and disturbing, and wow, some really interesting things happen in this show, are going to happen in the show. And the books are just really interesting. I was just thinking earlier, I was going to tell my buddy this in a voicemail. We decided not to. That George R.R. Martin is a really interesting cat because he's this like, he's not like, he is he's this big football fan, but he is also this really descriptive fantasy, knights and comics style writer. He's really mostly a novelist, but he's so descriptive. And it's just so strong. He's really a strong writer, so I've become really enamored with the story of Game of Thrones, and there's 2 more books that have yet to come out, but I have book 4 and book 5 now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they turn out. I know that when I finished the books, I finished reading the books, I'm going to be sitting on the edge going, wait a minute, what the hell's going to happen next? And I'm going to be just anxious to see what books 6 and 7 look like, but I'm really excited about it. So, and I really wasn't even expecting I would get into Game of Thrones. I'm really into it now. How about you? What have you been up to? What have you been doing all weekend? Did you go see movies and spend $40 like I did? Did you get out in the world? Do a lot of work around your house? I have a garage door that seems to be from hell, because on one side the track is coming off at the bottom, and on the other, or the wheels are coming off the track on the bottom, and on the other side, the top, the wheels are coming off the track at the top. So I have this weird dance I have to do with my garage door to get it to close, and that doesn't even mean lock it, because it's so difficult to get it to sit in place flush enough to where the door will lock, that I literally have to do it and like slam it until it hits those grooves just enough to where it's lockable. It's irritating. And probably, I've already been talking myself out of it in a way, not wanting the facility, but the facility I did the presentation for last week, I'm talking myself out of thinking I'm going to get it. And the reason I feel that way is because last time, I believe I did a presentation on another Wednesday, and by Friday, they already had the answer. So, since Friday has come and gone, what they tell you is, and it was weird because last time I applied for a facility, they said, well, if it's, what happens is the director will call the winner and say, you've won the bid, it's yours, where the other people who bid on it will just get letters of rejection in the mail. Well, within the community, it's pretty easy to find out whether you got it or not. Now, I haven't heard anything one way or another about that, but last time, even though they told us that they just send letters to the losers, so to speak, or the people who did not win the bid, I actually got a call from the office saying, well, thank you for applying, but they gave it to someone else. I was like, okay. And then, so this time, I'm wondering if they're going to call. The difference between last time and this time is that last time there was only 3 people total applying for the facility, and this time there's a total of 6. So it's twice as many, so they may not call. They may just do the letter thing. Maybe because it was so few people last time they wanted to do it. I honestly thought it was possible that the director was trying to get a reaction out of me. Because when I was in class to train for this type of job, I was one of the top people, but I was sent off to do a food service operation Well, they wanted me to do a food service operation in Houston, and I simply didn't want to do it. I wanted to be in vending. That was where I was more suited. Whereas this other guy, who actually wanted to be in food service, they sent him off to the route and gave him the route that I wanted. And that's fine. It's totally fine. They gave him one of the routes that it wasn't fun at the time. At the time I got really ticked off, and I pretty much gave a hard time to the director, and we did not get off well. I even suggested he had personal vendetta against me, and I was in a bad place in my life at that point. Obviously I had weight coming on at the time, which continued to rise during that relationship I was in, and it's my fault. I allowed myself to be in a stressful situation, but I took a lot of it out on him. And so he and I did not have the best interactions. And I got into some trouble and on probation within my facility situation because I was doing this kind of stuff. And I think a lot of that was my fault, obviously. I allowed myself to get in that position, but when I was finally done with it with my ex, and I was running for about a year without her, almost a year without her, I applied for the new facility and didn't get it, and they called, like I said, and I thought it was almost waiting to see if I would go ballistic, because the people who were on the panel for this bid said, they thought I did great, and they thought I was the one who deserved to get the facility, but I didn't. So I thought maybe when he called me, he was calling to get a reaction. And I thought, okay, it's fine. He was calling to get a reaction. And I didn't give them a negative one, though. I just said, okay, thanks. And now, with this one, I don't know if I'm going to be hurt or destroyed if I don't get it, because I've already been rejected before. And it may be, I even thought about contacting him after I didn't get the facility, and after it was all said and done, contacting this director and saying, I just want you to know that I am apologetic and remorseful for the way I acted. I shouldn't have taken out on you the things I had done. But one of my consultants for the state said, you just need to let that lie and leave it alone, because this director is not someone who's spiteful and holds things against people. It's not how he does his business. He doesn't do it that way, so he's not worried about it. So you shouldn't worry about it. And just let it go. So I wouldn't even bring it up. I would just leave it alone and just do your best in the job and let him judge based on the quality of your performance. And so I didn't say anything to him. Whether that was right or wrong, I don't know. Maybe in a way it is better let sleeping dogs lie. I'm just not sure what the best thing is in the end. Maybe once I leave this job, I will go ahead and just reach out. I don't want to do it before I hear one way or another about this assignment, though, because then it's almost like I'm kissing someone's butt, and I'm trying to say, hey, I'm sorry about what happened in the past and all that, and it's almost like I'm sort of trying to oil a squeaky track, and I don't want to do that. I want to let him make his decision, final decision, one way or another, and if I get it, great. If I don't, fine. I'll move on, follow my plan B, which has always been my plan, because I didn't know another facility was going to come available. And just go at it like that. If I do get it, If I don't get it, it's fine. Then when I'm ready to leave this job, or in a couple of months from now, when I'm ready to leave the job, which will ultimately be my goal in the long term, I will say, hey, listen, the way it stands is, I just wanted to say this because I have nothing to gain by saying it before I leave. Because I'm just saying it then from the place where it really comes from, which is I had no right to go off on you like that. It wasn't professional, and it wasn't polite, and it wasn't human to do that to someone. Well, it's human, but it wasn't very respectful. And I took my personal dissatisfaction with my self-dissatisfaction at the time out on someone else, and that was wrong. So, still considering doing that. And if I do get it, then great. You know, but like I said, my original plan was to follow through with what I currently had going on from a business perspective, and pursue other things with that going on. If it's him that's there, or if I get this facility, then it's sort of a plan B that turned into a plan A. And then I'll utilize the positive aspects of that. We'll see though. My throat's been getting really dry. I've been trying to drink more water, but my throat's getting dry a lot lately. I must be drinking something that's... So I'm drinking the juices that I normally drink. God. I don't know. I have had Dr. Pepper today. And Dr. Pepper can dry your throat out, and I had it yesterday. That can dry your throat out, so maybe it's that. Alright, well, I'm gonna get out of here. Get out of here. And I hope you have a great night, day, whenever you're watching this. I don't think you should second guess yourself on things, but try not to leave situations and try and evaluate. Don't do what I did if you can avoid it. Don't go off on someone if you're mad at them because of the way you've let things occur. Because when I was training for this job, I let my ex, she was pretty much an attention junkie, and I allowed her to take my attention away from doing this and give it to her when I knew I should have been doing other things. So that's just the way it is. That wasn't my mistake, my fault. In a positive relationship, they know what you need to do, and they leave you to do it. Alright, well, I'll get out of here. Like I said, make sure when you go off on someone it's for the right reasons. There goes my elliptical again. Alright, I will talk to you soon. Live with passion. Good night.